Good morning, Pickswise Nation. It is Saturday, April 9th, moving day for the Masters. We're going to talk a lot of Masters later on in the show. But Jared, also the last weekend of the regular season in the NBA, and a lot to still be decided as we go into these last couple of games here.
Yeah, moving day in the NBA, right?
Yes. A lot of movement.
A lot of movement going on. Yes. Nets continue to show you why they're not a play-in team, even though they're going to be in the play-in game. I don't expect them to be in that situation for long. And then in the bottom half of the East play-in bracket, you have a very interesting youth versus experience matchup cooking with Atlanta that's been in the postseason, that's made a nice run to the East Finals, against Charlotte that's an upstart team with a ton of young talent. I'm fascinated to see how that dynamic plays out. I think either way, the winner of that little area will have to play Miami in the first round, which is tough. I know you are. Nets Bucks in the first round. I mean, that's an Eastern Conference Finals kind of matchup. And it looks like that's the matchup we're going to get if the seeds play out according to form.
Yeah. Listen, I really like this Bucks team a lot. I think the Bucks are, if it's possible for a defending champ to be a sleeper, I feel like not enough people are talking about the Bucks, right? Like, it's kind of like, I mean, honestly, it's kind of like Scottie Scheffler and like world number one. No one's talking about him, and all of a sudden he's running away with this thing. We'll get to that later. But I feel like I would like this Nets team a lot more in this matchup if Ben Simmons was healthy and playing, and we knew what was going on with him. The Bucks, they're too big, they're too deep, they're too long, they defend, they shoot, they can do everything. I think they're going to give the Nets some trouble. It's going to be a great series. I think that's probably the best matchup we can ask for in the East, right? That'd be better than a Nets
in the first round. Absolutely.
I think that's the best matchup we could possibly get in the East.
Yeah, and again, I think the last 48 hours of the regular season today and tomorrow, I would stay away. I think, is there any games next week too? I don't know, but I would stay away from betting the NBA over the next 48 hours. Wait until the playoffs. There's a ton of other things to bet on between now and mid next week when the play-in games start. Baseball every day, Masters today and tomorrow. I'll throw you some soccer picks as well for, shits and giggles. But I think the NBA, because of where teams' minds are, and a lot of them are already checked out, waiting for the postseason. A lot of them are just trying to get that last ounce of confidence before they head into the play-in games. Very tough to bet on the NBA in these next two games, especially when you have teams playing with nothing to play for, going up against teams with everything to play for. Very difficult to handicap. So a lot going on in the NBA. I can't wait for these matchups in the playing game, but I think the betting perspective, like I'm looking at the card today, Alex, I see two double-digit favorites right out of the gate, Clippers and Sixers. Like, is Philly in that mindset where they care about, it's a tough bet, playing time, all of that. So I think the NBA, while we're excited about next week and beyond, tough from a betting perspective this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to talk more NBA in a second. Before we do, let's run through the card real quick. We're going to talk some NBA, of course. Bring on Diane Knox to talk the Masters. Better up. Talking some baseball. Give some MLB picks. Well, you are. I'm going to kind of, stay away for a little bit. You got some kick picks in there. And then we're going to give out some NHL Ice Picks. Finish things off with our plays of the day. Full card today. We're covering everything. So let's get right to it. Without further ado, let's bet it. Let's continue this NBA conversation here. And neither of us have any picks because, again, we're on the same page with this. Kind of sit back, wait for the NBA to shake things, or wait for the playoffs to settle and get in there at that point. But a team I want to talk about here, the Lakers. When you look at this Lakers team and, LeBron, obviously, out, we'll see him next fall. When we see him next fall, will it be in a Lakers uniform, one? And two, will he be playing alongside Anthony Davis and or Russell Westbrook? Or do you think this is a complete rebuild situation? Because we know Frank Vogel is reportedly going to be out. So do you think this is a rebuild situation? And if so, I mean, let's hope LeBron's not the one doing it. Because if there's one thing we know about LeBron, great player, not a great GM. Not a great GM.
No, the Russell Westbrook move, I think, was bad. I don't know how he feels about Anthony Davis right now. I think that is the key. But the thing about the NBA and the contracts and the way that everything's structured, there's really no one's locked in. I mean, I feel like there's always a way out of something. The language in these contracts and the amount of money that these players get paid, the teams are always willing to send guys away if like for instance, a guy that's on a max contract that isn't working out. I feel like teams know that there might be, needs to move on. So there's always out clauses built into these contracts. So again, I don't know the contract language off the top of my head, and I haven't really done much research on Anthony Davis. But
I mean, here's the thing: Anthony Davis, if you wanted to move him, he's a guy that I would think you could move, and teams would
100%.
gladly take on a talent like Anthony Davis, right?
And we've heard LeBron come out and say he wants to play with Steph Curry. Well, good luck. It's just
and then we see LeBron James this morning on Instagram, giving praise to Draymond Green. What's I'm not.
You think LeBron's going to be the one that moves from the Lakers? I mean, listen, I think we're getting to the point in LeBron's career, and again, take nothing.
No, don't do this. I know where you're going with this. Don't do this.
Is he the hired gun now that will go on these star teams to be the missing piece? Are
you saying LeBron? You're saying LeBron's going to start chasing rings now? LeBron's going to start chasing rings and hopping teams?
Yes. I mean, but I feel like we're at the point in LeBron's career where he's not a franchise builder anymore. You don't build the franchise around. He's 36. He's a guy that I think can give you good minutes, but I don't think he's the guy that's going to play a full season and be the MVP and be the star. Father Time is undefeated.
He's averaging 38-6 right now. 38-6.
He's averaging 38 points per game.
30 points.
30 rebounds. Yeah, because how many shots does he take in games? But look at what would you rather have? What would you rather have at this point in the NBA? Would you rather have a guy like LeBron James who's going to do everything and be amazing, and then lose how many games and not make the playoffs? Or have him on a team and have a lesser role where he can give you more sustain. I don't know. Listen, LeBron's going to have to check his ego at some point because he is not the guy. First of all, he can't build a team. He's already established that. You can't build a team.
Yeah.
So, we've already gotten to that point. Now, where are you with how you feel about yourself and your career? Do you still want to be the centerpiece guy that other teams build around? That's hard. That's a tough sell at age 36 now, going to be 37. That's a tough sell. He's been in the league for almost 20 years.
I think the other side to that, I think we're starting to see this new era of player like the Ja Morant. And, they went to Memphis. What was in Memphis when Ja got there? I mean, Jaren Jackson was there, but not much, right?
No, they were
in that team. And it's not even Ja Morant. Like, they built a beast in Memphis. So it's not even so much who can you put around LeBron. It's just, Is LA the right spot? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think the fact that he completely checked out the last 2 games of the season, and say what you want about injuries, it's not injuries. He doesn't want to play. He's like, I'm done.
Well, he's not going to waste. It's dead minutes, right? Like, listen, he's 37. He doesn't need to put.
That's what I'm saying. Like, his minutes are you don't want to tread on those tires.
There's a lot of miles on those legs. Yeah,
it's a lot of tread on those tires. I don't see a team opening up the wallet and saying, okay, LeBron, come play for us. We'll get rid of everyone else and we'll build around you. I think listen, every great player has this moment where they are not the star anymore. They need to become the role player.
Are you saying we're about to enter we're entering the point in time where we're going to, in this era where we're seeing like what would be comparable to the Michael Jordan Wizards?
Yes. 100%.
I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that.
I know change is tough. It's difficult.
I'm not ready for LeBron to turn into Jordan.
Father Time, bro. I'm 36. Trust me. Father Time is undefeated. It is undefeated. You as good as LeBron is, he is not going to be this good forever. It's impossible. He is going to there. And if I'm LeBron, you have to think about it long term too. You're like, wait a minute. I'm 37. If I keep going nuts every year, being the main guy, I'm going to not make it to 40. But if I maybe throttle, become a sixth man or a role, not a role player, but like the second or third option on a team, and maybe decrease my minutes and decrease the shoulder load to have to carry the weight every night, I can maybe play another year or two into my 40s. Like it's a business decision. I don't know what's going on in
He's
LeBron.
Just waiting out. He's waiting out until Bronny can make it to the league. That's what
I agree. I think he wants to play with his son, and I think that's an admirable thing. But if you're a team, are you going to be held hostage by LeBron and his son? Like that's
Listen,
it's a
absolutely, for
business.
the amount of money that's going to bring in for that year or two, yes, absolutely.
Probably. Especially if it's a mid-market team. But the Lakers, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be if I'm the Lakers, I wouldn't wait and make LeBron say, no, I'm waiting for, Lil Bron to be ready. I'm just going to, sat my 35, 40 mil and not produce. And there's not going to be playoffs for the next 2 or 3 years until that happens. That's a tough ask for the Lakers, who have very high expectations every year. It's going to be a very interesting – it's always an interesting offseason in the NBA.
Always,
but LeBron's
always.
got a business decision to make, no doubt.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on before we talk Masters. You got some kick picks to give out to the people. They always like your kick picks, so let's run through those before we bring on Diane Knox.
Yeah, there's some good matches happening right now. Chelsea just scored on the road at Southampton. The 10 a.m. Eastern matches on a Saturday are always fun. I have one that starts at 12:30 Eastern. Aston Villa hosting Tottenham. Spurs have been very interesting of late. They're now in that top four, barely. They are actually, I think they're tied. They're tied with Arsenal for fourth place in the EPL. And top four in the EPL gets that championship qualification. So Spurs and Arsenal are going to be dueling down the stretch. 8 matches left for Spurs. And they're facing Villa today, who's 0-9 against the top 6 in the EPL. Villa's had a nice story. Steven Gerrard, new manager, has done a nice job. But when they manage up against the competition, they do not play well. They've lost 3 straight matches overall. They've only scored twice in that stretch. Meanwhile, Spurs, we talked about them making a push for the top 4. 5-1 in their last 6 league matches. The only loss was 3-2 at United. Crazy back and forth match. 3 straight wins overall, outscoring opponents 10-2. Very strong and expected goal difference. They're closer to the top 3 than they are, the middle of the pack in that very important expected goal differential. So I'm taking Tottenham on the money line today, plus 120, 1 unit on the Spurs, not the Spurs, that's San Antonio, 1 unit on Spurs to beat Aston Villa this afternoon. Should be a fun one.
Love it. All right, let's switch gears and talk about what everyone wants to talk about. Let's bring on Diane Knox here. It is time to take it to Augusta. And let's talk some Masters moving day at Augusta National. Diane, what's going on?
Good. Jared, I love the way that you say Arsenal.
I know. You're a true Scot. You certainly know how to use the lingo for these matches. How should I say it?
Well, I think that in the UK they just drop the E, so it's like Arsenal. But you're
Arsenal.
like Arsenal.
I always struggle with Norwich. I want to say Norwich, but I know it's Norwich. With just R. There's no W.
Norwich?
Well, it's spelled Norw, but you don't pronounce the W. There's all kinds of, soccer lingo that I'm not privy to here in the States.
Interesting. All right, Diane, let's break this down here because I'm looking at your card, and first of all, I mean, Scotty Scheffler winning outright 16-1. I mean, let me just brag for you for a second here.
Let's go.
Will Zalatoris, top 5 right now, looking good. Top 10, 1 under, still very much in the mix for that. So you're having a pretty good Masters so far.
No, I was having a great Masters on Thursday when Cam Smith was dominating. And when he got to 6 under, I'm like, here we go. But then, of course, that double bogey on 18 for him in round 1. And then he just had a terrible day yesterday. I mean, the thing about Cam Smith is his short game and his putting is always like the creme de la creme. And yesterday, it's like he couldn't make a putt. So I still am not ruling out Cam Smith, though, because he's got an incredible record around Augusta National. He holds the record of the only person to shoot 4 rounds in the 60s, and he did that in 2020 when he finished runner-up. So I am not ruling him out yet because I still think we're going to see a little bit of magic from Cam Smith on those greens.
I love it. It's been such a fun Masters so far, Diane. Yeah, and I think yesterday I tweeted this out. As good as Scotty Scheffler was yesterday, Justin Thomas, I thought, had the round of the day. He gained almost 7.5 strokes on the field, tee to green. That was best by far. Scheffler was around 6. And considering the conditions and considering he shot a 76 on Thursday, Justin Thomas, to me, round of the day. And I know it wasn't the low round of the day, but I think all things considered, he needs a little recognition for what he did yesterday and getting himself back in the tournament.
Yeah, and we talked about him the other day because obviously he's got Bones Mackay on the bag now, who was Phil's famous longtime caddy. So has obviously won around Augusta National before. But yeah, Justin Thomas was exceptional yesterday. We've obviously got Scheffler at the top, and we talked about Thomas and we talked about Scheffler on Wednesday. But I just hope that Scheffler doesn't run away with it, because he has the ability to do so. And you want a Masters where it's really back and forth. And Saturday, moving day, Sunday, back nine of the Masters is always that pressure-packed 2.5 hours where anything can happen. So I just hope by the end of today, we're in a good position where there's a lot of guys really in contention at the top.
Diane, listen, for me, the Masters today, it doesn't start until 1 o'clock when Tiger tees off. I'm sorry. Like, listen, it didn't start until, what was it, 11:04 on Thursday, and it doesn't start until 1 today when Tiger tees off. Matched up with Kevin Kisner today. A really up and down round for Tiger yesterday, but just incredible to see him out there. What were your impressions of Tiger, and how are you feeling about him heading into the weekend?
Well, I think the one thing that was maybe against Tiger yesterday, well, there's a lot of things against him, but he's managed to overpower them all. But the fact that Louis Oosthuizen withdrew with injury and there was only two of them in the group, there was a lot of waiting around. Yeah, and he's a quick player anyway. He wants to be moving. Then especially with the back and with the leg. I mean, you could see him. He was sitting around. He was eating a sandwich. I think there was just a lot of waiting around. It was probably quite a tough day in that sense. But he started terribly. He was 4 over through his first 5 holes. But then the back nine, we saw a great little charge. And, at one point I thought, oh my gosh, he has to make the cut. Like, we've been bigging this up so much. And, 1 over, which is great. We've talked about this at length, that Tiger is an Augusta National tactician. He plays the course smarter than anyone else. So in his mind, I mean, obviously he was asked if he thought he could win, and he does, but he's made the cut, right? So that's the first goal met, so to speak. Right. And now I think we're going to see a slightly different gear, because now he can be a little bit more at ease, and he's going to fight because he wants to win. And okay, he's 9 back right now. However, stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened. I got a question for both of you real quick, though. Got a question. Looking at some Tiger plays for today and seeing if I can interest either of you in any of these. Okay. Tiger Woods, round 3 score. FanDuel has it at 73 or better at -102, 74 or worse at -124. And then DraftKings also has Tiger at even money today in his matchup against Kevin Kisner, who is -120. Can I interest you in any of that?
I know Diane likes that score prop.
Yeah, I found Tiger to shoot 72 or better +155. And I really like that. As I said, I think he's going to come out fighting. And he's looked really good. On Thursday, we saw a lot of great par saves, which for him was clutch. And yesterday, back nine, obviously, he was way more dialed in. So I think, I really like that for sure. And I love the fact he's playing with Kisner today. I think that's going to be a cool matchup to watch.
That will be a fun matchup. You've also got Tiger in the top 10 at 4-1. And listen, the way that this tournament is kind of playing out, I feel like everyone's kind of hovering around 3. I mean, maybe 3 under is a top 10 score by the end of the weekend.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it going backwards for a while yesterday before Sheffield just took off. So I don't know. I mean, I will never rule Tiger out at Augusta. We talked about this on Wednesday as well. And for the people that were, it's like, are you crazy? You have to just look back and see what this man has accomplished here. So I still love him for the top 10.
Love it. Another guy I really liked and was impressed with over these first 2 days, Joaquin Niemann. I mean, listen, he's right in the mix of this thing. Already has a win this year. 3 top 10 finishes. I think he's tied for 10th right now, I believe. But is this the kind of performance that you can use? Especially, I mean, he's a young guy playing with Tiger Woods and didn't blink. I mean, how impressive was this guy?
I actually felt for him yesterday because it was just the two of them playing. I'm like, you have to be nervous. I mean, he's 23, Tiger's 46. Like, you have to be nervous. And there's that awkward silence of, do you talk? Do you not? But he is so dialed in with his irons. And also we saw Joaquin Niemann dominate at the Genesis Invitational at Riviera at the start of the year, which is Tiger's tournament. So they have that cool little bond anyway. And there's a lot of correlation between Riviera and Augusta National. And I mean, Niemann had been close. He'd been knocking on the door a lot. And from what we've seen the last couple of days, I mean, he's right there. He is just an insane talent for sure.
I love your matchups today. The Varner one, So I overlooked him for top debutant. I've got Sepp Straka. Hopefully he has a nice round. But Varner's been incredible, and we played Varner a lot last year when he kind of made his rise up through the ranks. And he's getting a nice plus money price today against Matsuyama, who looked okay, but you would imagine the neck injury, just like Tiger, you would think that there's going to be a slow decline in his durability over the weekend. And Matsuyama, I would say, played well, but not overly well yesterday. Just did enough to keep himself in contention. And that's a nice price on Varner, who's been playing really well so far.
Yeah, and I said to my husband last night when the coverage finished, I'm like, I can't believe Matsuyama's up there. And he said, what are you talking about? He won last year. But we saw him withdraw from the match play with that injury. And with an injury so close to a major, I mean, it's niggling. We saw it with Louis Oosthuizen. I mean, Paul Casey withdrew because of his injury. So I don't know. And as you say, he wasn't firing on all cylinders yesterday. Varner is so up and down, though. And it's so frustrating because he's played great the first 2 days, but Varner is very capable of a blow up or very capable of a 6 under. I mean, it's like it hangs in the balance sometimes. So, but as you say, he is playing good right now. And I did like that price because Matsuyama, I just have too much of a question mark over.
Agreed.
Jared, you like Colin Morikawa today, right?
That is another interesting matchup, and I know Diane's on Zalatoris, but I'll pose this question to you, Diane, because I wanted to play both. Like when the round ended last night, I went to my strokes gain, charts, and I was like, all right, who was really good tee to green in round 2, and I was surprised that Colin wasn't near the top of the list. I was like, well, that's usually his bread and butter, and then I looked at the putting stats, and I was like, holy shit, he is putting it really well. And that was coming into the tournament. We had talked about Colin not putting it well, and that's why he's not considered as a guy that we would put on our outright card this week. So I think Colin maybe is figuring it out with the putter. But then on the other side, I was like, man, I want to play Willie Z this weekend because he's a guy that's just always around the leaderboard and doesn't beat himself. His putting numbers have been
two guys that can't putt.
Exactly. It's kind of an interesting matchup, and you're getting a plus price on Willie Z. Talk me through why you like Zalatoris here.
I just think that he's a scrambler. You have to be able to scramble well around Augusta National, and we saw that over the first couple of days. But I think that the putting is improving for him, and I think it's getting better all the time. I know.
Well, it could have gotten worse. I mean, it could.
Can get worse. You're right. And I'm just looking at Morikawa even said himself that he's just not in the best of form right now. So I like Will from the start. I had him down top 5 at plus 600 at the start of the week, and I am standing by it. I mean, he got that solo finish last year in his Masters debut. He has to have the confidence. He hasn't won yet, and I do think his first win is going to be a big one. So he's just such a good ball striker that it's really hard to. I mean, I know Morikawa is as well.
Diane, I like you. We're Will Zalatoris truthers.
I'm on it too. I've got a top 10 and 3-1. I was surprised yesterday when I looked at this. Colin gained nearly 2 strokes on the field putting it. Will was also gaining strokes on the field putting. And again, those I would not have expected either of those guys to be on the plus side of strokes gained with the short stick. Tee to green, absolutely. Not with the short stick. So I think both of those guys are play-ons. It's a shame that they're facing each other, but should make for some good golf.
Diane, 2 more before we get you out of here. We got the chat asking you, what is your best bet for today? What is your best bet?
I do think, let me have a look at what I have. I think Tiger's shooting 72 or better at plus 155 because I do think he will.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm all in the Woods train today.
I think an interesting discussion that I had last night on a show that I want to bring to here today. A lot of people, hopefully, we gave out Scotty Scheffler earlier this week, are sitting on a nice, juicy outright ticket for Scotty Scheffler right now. I know I am. I know Diane is. How do you approach it this weekend with live betting? Right now, he's basically a pick'em to win the tournament against the rest of the field. Would you consider? See, like for me, I already have a little bit on JT. I already have a little bit of Morikawa. I might grab a slice of Dustin Johnson. That's the other name that I think might, continue to play well and climb the leaderboard. Would you come off of Scotty at some point and play a big 10, 15, 20 to 1 on one of the other big name golfers that's 5 shots back? Or are you just letting it ride and say, Scotty, take me home, baby?
I think it's still too early right now. I think today it's Scotty, take me home, baby. But it's moving day, and you never know what can happen today.
True.
So you've mentioned Justin Thomas. I'm big on Thomas. I'm big on Cam still, and I'm definitely not ruling either of them out. But right now, Scheffler at 8 under just kind of ran away with it a little bit. I think if it was a little bit closer, I mean, he's got a 5-shot lead. So I think when we get to like maybe a 1 or 2, 3 shot lead, then maybe. But right now, it's so hard to look past him, especially when we look at how he won the other 3 tournaments that he's won
Unbelievable.
this year.
Yeah.
The world's number one. It was almost
hard to believe. Yeah, the world number one is kind of just being overlooked a little bit.
Golf betting is easy, right, Diane? It's so easy. Just bet on the world number one. He's going to win.
The other thing I think we have to look out for today is either Rory or Ram to make a charge. Because one of them has to.
No. I'm not gonna let you get off of. No, we're not trusting Rory on a Saturday. No,
I'll be honest. I looked at. Hold on. I'm gonna pull up Rory's numbers because I looked up Rory last night and I remember like sticking my nose up like I was like someone was trying to serve me vegetables. So he actually had a pretty decent day tee to green yesterday, but he lost 2 strokes with the putter. Overall for the tournament, he's lost 3 strokes on the field putting it. I mean, can he figure out the short stick this weekend? If so, then yes, maybe he can make a charge.
Yeah. And John Ram has been a little bit of a baby. Did you see his comments after round 1? He was like, dude, suck it up. Like, and he didn't
about mud balls and stuff. Like, come on.
And he said that he played great. Well, if you look at his stats, he actually didn't play that great. So that annoyed me. But I feel like, obviously he made the cut. And he's got a brilliant track record in the Masters. So, 3 top 10s in his last 4. So, yeah, I think that we're going to have to see some sort of firework from Ram. If not, he's going to literally explode.
There's going to be fireworks. It might be negative. He might implode rather than explode. I have a matchup today that I have for play of the day. And instead, I want to at least mention it to you. I'm playing it no matter what, even if you talk me out of it, because it's already locked in. I'm playing Shane Lowry over Sung Jae Im. Lowry, so the top 3 guys strokes gained tee to green yesterday. JT 1, unbelievable. Scheffler 3, number 2, the big Irish bear, our guy Shane Lowry, incredible round from him. And Sung Jae looked a little off yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
He was so good in round 1, the leader after 18, and then yesterday he just didn't. I don't know if maybe there's some nagging injury, but tee to green he was not good yesterday. So I thought that was a fair price. Lowry minus 115 over him today.
And the other thing is, and I go back to this all the time with Lowry. After he won the Open Championship at Royal Portrush, it's going to get cold out there today. It's going to be chilly. Winds are going to be up to like 20. So I think that is. I would never talk you out of that. I'm fully supportive because Lowry is in a great position on 3 under.
He is.
Love it. Diane Knox, as always, appreciate
Tremendous,
your insights.
Man.
Enjoy the rest of your Masters weekend.
They're about to start right now. It's perfect timing. Get you out. Boom.
Get you out of here. Yeah, let's go.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Jared, let's switch gears. And what are we going to talk right now? Let's talk
baseball. Batter up.
Some baseball.
Batter up.
Little batter up. Let's do it. Little batter up. Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm kind of taking a little bit of a back seat to baseball right now. I'm going to just kind of sit back.
Long season. It's a
long season, a lot going on. I know a lot of people are basing stuff off spring training last year. I just need to sit back. I'm going to let a couple games get under our belts here for a second. But you got a play that you like tonight.
I think overall, and you're 100% right, I think it's totally fair to look at the baseball season as a marathon, not a sprint, and say, I'm going to wait and see some data because we get a ton of data, and then we can start to base our bets. The one counterpoint to that is the books don't have any data either. So if you do feel like you have an edge, the numbers are a little on the softer side. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think we're getting today with Casey Mize. Casey Mize is a number 1 pick. He's an ace potentially of a staff. I think he's going to be maybe not the ace. I think Eduardo Rodriguez still is the ace. But I think Casey Mize might ascend to ace status this year on a very upstart, very talented Tigers roster. He's facing a White Sox team today that lost yesterday, that I think is a veteran team that will start slow and build throughout the season. And I saw this number at minus 130 at 3.5 or it's moved down to even minus 125. Full disclosure, I got in at minus 135. That's the number I will grade this bet as. But I think you can find over 3.5 strikeouts for Casey Mize at -125 if you look at Caesars. And again, it's really just the number. I have no stats to base this off of last year. He was not a very high strikeout pitcher, but he worked on a splitter in the offseason. That's what I heard. That's what I was reading about in spring training, and that could be more of a strikeout pitch. And again, I know this White Sox roster is right-handed focused. They were good yesterday against the lefty Rodriguez. I think they're going to struggle a little bit more today against the righty Mize. And again, the number is super low. So you might find some soft numbers out there early in the season. I wouldn't shove all my chips into the middle on baseball plays. I probably went a little too hard yesterday. I bet 5 total bets. Today I'm only betting 1. Casey Mize over 3.5 strikeouts. You can probably find it between -125 and -135 if you do your shopping.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, well, where I'm lacking in baseball right now, I'm going to make up for it on the ice. But,
Do it, baby.
Okay, I'm a little conflicted because there's one thing that we don't do on this show, and we don't go against the Ice Cats. Look, we can go against each other, but we don't go against the Ice Cats. But today I'm going against the Ice Cats.
Wow.
It's tough. I think this is
It's
actually
late year. Maybe they're worried about the playoffs.
This is the first time this year I think that I'm actually fading them on this show.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm going with the Preds. If you'll remember
You hit
earlier
the Preds
in the
the other day.
I went out with the Preds against the Wild.
Maybe that's your new squad.
Preds are my squad. I know the spots to pick my Preds. And tonight,
Smashville.
plus 115 on FanDuel. I just think this is a great spot for them. We have the Preds on fresh legs and could or should be facing Spencer Knight, the Panthers' backup goalie tonight, with Florida on the second night of a back-to-back here. Listen, this is a team that's been hot at home. And I love that they're going against Spencer Knight, who just has not been great. 2.91 goals against average, tied for 32nd in the league in save percentage. This is a Preds team that I hate to use like they're motivated playoffs, but they're looking to like solidify their spot in the playoffs, right? And I think they're going to be able to do it at home. It's going to be rowdy at Nashville. They've won 4 of their last 5. I like them to pull off a little bit of a short upset tonight. Plus
I don't hate it. Listen, I think at this stage of the NHL season, the standings matter. Florida already knows that they're set. Let me pull up the standings right now. Actually, I was looking at them this morning. Florida's 8 points up on Toronto for first place in the division with 11 games left. I mean, it would take an epic collapse for them not to. So I don't mind it. I think at this stage of the season, you have to try to find some plus money where you can. So but we're not going to be fading the Ice Cats in the playoffs. That's for damn sure.
Well, hold on. So hold on. So yeah, we'll talk about this later. I mean, obviously, let's not forget Lauren's still in the Avs. Our Flames, because we're both Flames guys.
Yeah, I'm Flames. So Flames, Ice Cats. I have a little slice of the Hurricanes as well.
I was gonna say you got on Canes a little bit.
A little bit of the Hurricanes. Actually, let me pull up. It's a pretty decent spot to refresh the futures portfolio right now. Futures portfolio is looking fresh. I've got a unit.
Do you have anything on your Rangers?
No, but I'll be honest. They're dangerous. Rangers are dangerous. And I know you've been in close contact with a lot of those New York teams this year doing the MSG stuff. So those Rangers are really, really dangerous this year. Good. Isles. It would take a miracle for them to make the playoffs, but nice win for them last night against Carolina. And huge game today, Caps, Pens. I almost put this game on my card today. I almost put the Pens on the card because I think the Pens are a team that is starting to slip. They need to make up some ground. And the Caps I want to say it's a 9-point gap between the Caps and the Isles for the final playoff spot. And there's still, listen, I know that's a lot, but you get 2 points for a win and there's still 10, 11 games left. So it's not like over, done and dusted. But the Isles need a massive boost. So we got the Isles, I think a half unit on the Isles at like 100-1 to win the Cup, which would be wild. The big one is the Panthers, full unit on 10-1, and then the Flames, a half a unit on 20-1. So Panthers, yeah, I mean, we're situated right now. Hurricanes, Panthers, and Flames are really the 3 teams we're gonna be cracking hard down the stretch of this hockey season when we get into the postseason.
Love it. Yeah, postseason for NHL, NBA. I mean, listen, what more can you ask for? It's about to be.
See, the NHL postseason. You agree with this or not? I think the biggest gap between intensity is the NHL regular season and NHL postseason. I don't know
More so than baseball. You think more so than baseball?
I don't think there's a bigger intensity. Yeah, baseball's up there.
Playoff baseball is different.
And playoff hockey just.
Playoff hockey's also, yeah, I agree. There's a big gap.
What's the most intense postseason? Rank them top to bottom. See, the NFL is intense all year long because the season's so short.
Agreed. And every game matters in the
and basketball, I don't know. I think it's not fully max effort even in the playoffs. I feel like these guys take games off.
It's series, so it's a matter of strategy with the series, and yeah.
And hockey is just, man, when these guys get to the playoffs, and that's why in the NHL, in my mind, there's more upsets in the playoffs. We saw the 8-seeded Kings win the cup. The 8 seed never wins the NBA Finals. The wild card teams rarely win the World Series. The teams at the bottom, usually it's the top. The cream of the crop always rises in baseball and NBA. In hockey, man, anyone in the playoffs can win. Anybody can win.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be exciting. All right, I'm looking at the time. Let's get out of here. Let's give out some 3-star plays. Got anything on the website?
Oh, that's a good question. Actually, I need to refresh the website right now. Yeah, we actually do have something. Our buddy Robin Hong's got to play on the Suns Jazz tonight. Excuse me, no, that was last night. That was last. Okay. Sorry, I need to refresh the page. Yeah, Pacers Sixers total. Pacers Sixers total. 1 o'clock Eastern game. Go check it out. Hermantas.
Yeah, you got a couple hours before you got to get on that.
Yeah, you got about 2 hours, but it's an interesting play. I would check it out. Pickswise 3-star looks on the Pacers Sixers total.
Love it. All right, your play of the day. What do you got?
Sung Jae Im against Shane Lowry. Afternoon at Augusta. I love Shane Lowry. 68 yesterday. He has been rolling. Second most strokes gained in the field. Tee to green. Over 6.17 strokes gained tee to green yesterday. Sung Jae Im was a negative against the field tee to green. And again, the way that I handicap golf, I like to look at your tee to green strokes gained, and I like to compare it to how you're putting it. Guys that are striking it really well, tee to green, but aren't putting it as well, those are the guys that I like to bet on because putting is very volatile. It can flip in an instant. You make one long putt, all of a sudden your round completely flips. Sung Jae's been basically flat across the board, tee to green and putting, where Lowry, I'm seeing this huge gap tee to green, and he's not putting it that well. He was actually a negative yesterday. He shot 68 and was a negative strokes gained with a short stick yesterday. Shane Lowry's the guy we're banking on today, minus 115 over Sung Jae Im in a 2-ball matchup. If it's a tie, it's a push. This is on DraftKings. You can bet the 3-way where you get better odds, but the tie loses. We ain't doing that shit. Sung Jae Im, Shane Lowry, we're going to go with the straight up head-to-head ties push, laying 15 cents on the Big Irish Bear, Shane Lowry, over Sung Jae today.
I like that. I'm sticking with the Masters because, what else would I give out today? It's Saturday. It's the I mean, why not? Why not, right? And I'm going with a guy that we've talked about earlier in the show, Will Zalatoris. I like him to shoot 72 or better today. 71 in round 1, 72 in round 2. What if I told you that 72 yesterday was his worst round at Augusta National ever? Wow. He's played it twice. Did not shoot 72 at all last year. 72. He's only shot 72 once, and it was yesterday. Best, I think, iron striker in the on tour, and I think he's kind of figured out the putter. Diane was talking about it earlier. He's putting a lot better. At times, didn't feel like it could have gotten any worse for him, but he's putting well. Top 10 right now in greens and regulation. I think that Willie Z's figured it out. He's definitely figured out Augusta. So you're telling me that I just need him to not shoot his worst round ever in my bet and cash? I'm going to roll with it. So my guy, Will Zalatoris, and this is not just because I'm holding on to a 33-1 Will Zalatoris ticket, but I think he makes a move today.
I don't mind it. The chat doesn't have a whole lot else to add here. Diane's best bet was probably the best chat question of the day. Man, Tiger's going to be fun to watch today. We're going to get to see Tiger's red shirt tomorrow, which is going to be really exciting too.
That is going to, that'll be just so great. Oh, hold on. Before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, I want to, I love playing conspiracy theory. I love talking conspiracy theories here. And the big conspiracy theory at Augusta National and Tiger, it's the shoes, the foot choice, right? How do you think this went down? Did Tiger go to Nike and tell them, I'm wearing foot choice, like, deal with it?
Maybe.
Or did he give, do you think he, how did this go down? Because I can't imagine Nike's pleased with this, right? They can't be.
Probably not, but I'm assuming that there's some language in his deal that says the shoes are different.
I bet you no. Tiger Woods has to be Nike head to toe.
I agree, but then how did he get away with it?
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, how is he doing this? Or is he just
I'm sure
is he bucking the system? Is Nike sending him shoes and he's just saying no, I'm wearing FootJoys?
Maybe Nike has a deal with FootJoys. Like, I don't know. It is an interesting question. Here's what I do know. I have a friend. So Diane, her brother's on tour. The amount of free shit that these guys get.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
It's unbelievable. I'm sure that there has to be, because you're right. Usually especially when you're Tiger and you're inked up.
Tiger Woods, you're Nike Golf. Tiger Woods is Nike Golf.
There's got to be some language in his contract about it. There has to be, because I have friends that are like lower athletes and they even have to wear the same things that, their sponsors give them. There has to be some kind of loophole. Because you're right. He should be rocking Nikes. I also saw him doing a Bridgestone golf balls commercial with.
He's Bridgestone balls. Bridgestone balls.
Bridgestone balls. I thought he was a Titleist guy.
No. He's Bridgestone.
You switched to Bridgestone.
I
don't know. Would you use golf balls made by the same company that makes tires?
Honestly, I have friends that use Bridgestone balls.
Are they good? I've never used them. I'm a Titleist.
I think they are in that upper tier of ball.
Really?
Me personally, I'm a TaylorMade ball guy.
You're a TaylorMade. I mean, I think that's fine too. I have TaylorMade irons that I love.
Yeah. Listen, just a couple of golf elitists. Like, yeah,
about golf.
We can talk about this all day. Let's get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Jared, I'm Alex. Good luck with your bets tonight.